one of my first realizations was that not listening to what other people tells you, because as I think like Chin already said it, like it's not my limitation, it's just theirs. We not only have one limiting belief for one thing, we carry that for the
Yeah.
all the stuff that we do. So I feel like I carried that a lot, like especially when I moved here, even though my higher self told me, yes, you're gonna pass it and you're gonna like prove them wrong. When I start preparing myself, I knew that I'm gonna do it. But something inside of me, especially my mind, was the one who was telling me, it's too hard, your English is not good enough, like you're not gonna understand the questions, because yeah, everything is in English. And like when I first moved, I was like, I can do this by myself, but I still have a lot of limitations. One of the best ways to release that energy, because it's just energy that is stuck on like yourself, is doing shell trauma.
In these last two episodes, we dive deep into our stories about how to transform pain into power and the steps necessary to embody the version of yourself that's living the life you desire.
Yeah, guys, so if you ever felt like you were never good enough, this is the episode to watch, because today we're going to focus on BB's story, where she breaks down how she was struggling with self-harm, low self-worth, and low self-esteem, to gaining the confidence to move to another country, creating her own story without listening to other people's limitations.
What up, guys? Beeps, Malika, how are you guys doing?
I'm
I'm living the best life. How are y'all doing?
pretty good.
Uh,
One
Good.
a year older now.
Yeah,
How does it
did you
feel?
just have your birthday?
It's pretty good. It feels different, actually. Like I feel like for the first time, I actually wanted to celebrate my birthday. I feel like my birthday was always a little bit depressing if I didn't want to celebrate my birthday. I don't know why, but I feel like this time was different, and like I was really happy, and happy for everyone that was wishing me the happy birthday, which before I wasn't like that excited.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it feels this 29 birthday felt really different.
I love that. Wait, okay, like what do you think shifted?
Well, a lot of things internally that we're gonna talk about here on the episode. Just like, a lot of realizations, and like the way I want to live my life, my beliefs, and all those things. I feel like they all change. So yeah, I feel like that's why I had a really good birthday.
Oh my god, I love that. And you deserve to be celebrated. And I don't know, I'm excited to get into this episode too, where we're breaking down all the shifts that you had the past few years.
We're
Yeah.
saving the best for last.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. What about you guys? What you guys did this weekend?
I've been just pushing out videos every single day. Like I've been so locked in, and actually like this past week, like I stopped looking at my numbers too. I was like, I'm not gonna go into my dashboard. I'm just gonna completely detach and focus on the inputs. And now like I have another viral going on. Like my videos are starting to get pushed again, and I was like, wow, this is the power of attachment. As soon as you detach from how much money you're making, things start picking up. And this happened every single time I had a big month. So I feel like I'm on the right track. So I'm really happy about that.
That's
Mm,
awesome.
Something similar to Malika. As you guys know, I went to LA, and I told the girls I got my heart broken twice. from, but from that being from, let's not dive into that. But what Malika just said last month, well, this month, I was like, you know what? For the next 4 days, let me not post anything. Let me just enjoy my trip, have time with my family, and eat good food. As soon as I come back, as soon as I land in North Carolina, I get a fat ass deposit from a retainer that covered the whole LA trip.
Oh, nice.
I love that. That's
I
amazing.
was like, oh my gosh, so like this, it was perfect. It was perfect.
Hey, money is always flowing. I guess like what was your life like before everything changed? Like maybe when you were back in Colombia, how were things like for you? And just bring us into the story of how everything changed for you.
Well, I guess everything changed when I moved here to United States. I wanted to move by myself, so I don't have family. I moved pretty much like without anyone, just with a big bag of dreams, and so I think before I moved to United States, I went through a lot of pain in my life. So for those that don't haven't like never watched our podcast, um, I'm an athlete, so I always been a really good speed skater, and I think my first like breakthrough was when I didn't became like a world champion. And I didn't become a world champion not because I had my own like I had limitations. I didn't become that because of my dad. Like he plays a really big part of the person who I was before and the struggles that I had when I was growing up. And for me, one of the most important like realizations was not believing everything that your parents tell you, because yeah, they sometimes tells you these things because they went through the same like past, or they just want you to not do the same mistake, but sometimes the way they put it on us is not the best way that you can talk to a kid. So I feel like ever since I'm like a really young, I was taught that I was not good enough in everything I did. So I think like I start developing this low self esteem about myself, or like the things that I can do, because the loved ones that I had, it told me that I wasn't good enough, that I needed to do more work. So I feel like that's where everything kind of started with like this low self worth. Also, it came the harm. Like I used to, because my parents used to tell me all those things. So in my mind, I used to like bring myself even deeper. I don't know how to explain it differently.
Maybe
Like,
you were like spiraling, you think?
well, I was believing everything that they were telling me, and so I was making
Self
it even
sabotage.
worse. Yes, I was sabotaging myself because that's what I heard from like my loved ones. I'm not good enough, so I have to be good
How,
enough.
how old were you?
When this happened,
Yeah, when this whole scenario happened.
maybe like 8.
Oh,
Like
you were a
I'm
kid.
like
Wow.
yes, I've been an athlete for 16 years.
Okay.
I started speed skating when I was 4, and I finished before I moved to Canada. So so yeah, pretty much my entire life. Like I had a really strict parents in the way like I cannot look at social media, no TV. Everything was outside, and the only thing that I could do is two things: go to school, be a really good student, which I'm grateful for, because I feel like if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. Because the reason why I moved to the United States was because I wanted to standardize my dental degree. Um, but it did come with some side effects that I didn't like.
Yeah. So like when your dad kind of like told you like, oh, like you can't like, did he tell you like you can't be a speed skater? Like was that like right before you left for United States, or like was that like earlier on?
So, like, that was maybe before I moved to Canada. So I moved to Canada before to like learn English, which that's another story. I put a lot of limitation on myself like when I was a kid, and I carried them like through like my 20s until like late 20s. So with the English, it was another one. I always thought that I was really bad at English, and I know that, sorry that I sidetracking here a little bit. But with my dad, I feel like it was it was it wasn't not in his interest sometimes when I was speed skating. So he was the manager of the team, and if he didn't like the coaches, he used to move me from team to team, and he didn't care because he just wanted something out more than just me practicing my sport. So I feel like he told me pretty much at the end to, if I don't move, I cannot continue like speed skating. So I said I'm done speed skating, even though that was one of my most painful decisions, because I always wanted to be a world champion, and I couldn't do it. But I feel like not doing this taught me a lot about following my own dreams without expecting or having other person to put their limitations on me, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
Yeah.
answers your question.
No, that does. And like, do you feel like coming to the United States or making that decision was like the first time you kind of said like, no, I'm not listening to what others think of me, or Canada, I think that's like where you went first, right?
No, but I feel like it was more to the US because for
Um,
Canada I only did an exchange program, which is just to like learn English. That was a struggle.
That'll be me
But
in Mexico with my school.
yeah, you have to do the same thing as speaking Spanish.
Yeah. No.
But what did you say again? What was the question?
Do you think like coming or like making the decision to come to the United States was like the first time you said no to other people's like projections and
Yes.
beliefs?
Yes, not only from my own family, but also from um, my teachers. Like for example, dentistry. I before I moved to the United States, I studied dentistry, and I wanted just to move because to be really honest, I just wanted to be away from my family because my family
Mhm.
just mean a lot of pain or like a lot of limitations. So as I
Mhm.
said before, like they were really strict, and they are Latino parents, which they only believe of the things that you can do with your hands, like nothing that is like online, like entrepreneur. Like that's another thing one other reason why I wanted to move by myself, because when I was a kid, I've always been really really independent. So I sell my own stuff. I did network marketing for two different companies. I always wanted to kind of like do my own thing, but my parents never believed in me in the way like that's not gonna work. Like I used to hate that.
Wait, I don't think they believed in you. I don't think they believed in themselves, and then they projected that insecurity onto you.
Yeah, I think that too, because like for like my family is not entrepreneur. Like okay, yeah,
No.
only my grandpa and my aunt, they build businesses themselves, but the rest of my family, my mom, my dad, they are teachers, which I love because I learned so much from them. But they only believe in the things that they can work, and I don't feel that way.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
they were just closed minded. That was it. They were. It's not their fault that hey, like you have to do this way. That's how we make money. No, that's how you make your money. I'm looking over here, big dog. I'm looking at AI on my phone. How can I make internet money? Which is now what we do now. But
Yeah, but I
yeah,
feel like at that time I was really young, and I don't know if I'm gonna say this to Chino because maybe Chino will like identify with me. But my family always will tell me, if you don't do the things that I tell you because you're living under my roof, you have to leave. Do you ever heard
yeah,
that from your family?
yeah, yeah. But no, but so my relationship with mom is different. I love my mom. She's the strongest person I know. Like, but I mean, she always threatened me, "Oh, like if you don't do this, I'm gonna kick you out the house." No, you're not. You love me too much. You love me too much to
Mhm.
kick me out the house. And but I don't have that experience. If anything, she was willing to help me whenever me and the ex broke up. She was like, "Hey, if you want, you can sell your house and move into one of my rentals." Again, she was helping me out. But I was like, "I'm good. I'm good." Um, but from my experience, they do talk shit like, "Hey, like if you don't do this, I'm gonna kick you out." Blah blah blah. No, like I said, she loves me too much to kick me out. But that's from my
My
experience. But yeah,
my mom was actually like that. Like that's why I was like telling her I was doing like my nutrition schooling, even when I was like doing all like the online money stuff, like building TikTok shop stuff. And then like ultimately she did kick me out. And like the only reason why I wasn't homeless was because like my dad came through. So like I feel that, like I resonate that, and I know how painful that can be. And I don't know. It's just like it is what it is. But like how so like with that happening to you, like is that like kind of like what made you like move to the United States or make you have that decision?
Well, yeah, I moved to the United States just because I wanted to be away from my family. So I, as soon as I had the opportunity and I saw like the opportunity of moving here, standardizing my degree here, and just working and just doing something different that is not being limited by what my parents tell me, like I took the opportunity and said like I'm moving. And I feel like it's not easy like being here by yourself at all. um,
I
but
can
I feel like
imagine. Oh my gosh.
it's the most like how do you call
Rewarding,
that? Yeah, they're
rewarding.
rewarding, and I grow so much like as an
Yeah.
individual that I will do it again. Honestly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So how do you like once you came to United States, what were realizations you made about like yourself, maybe your family as you went through this whole process, like of coming to United States and maybe even like as the years went on?
So my realizations mainly was on don't don't let other people's limitations limitate yourself. I heard a lot of like first when I moved, a lot of like dental teachers were telling me, "Oh no, like passing the dental board is pretty much impossible. No one passed the dental boards. Like this is you're wasting your time." So I think like one of my first realizations was that not listening to what other people tells you, because as I think like Chin already said it, like it's not my limitation, it's just theirs. And so that was like one of my first kind of like realizations, believing in myself and not letting other people talk or like whatever belief that they have affect me, because I feel like before
Mhm.
I used to I will be manipulated really easily. Like someone, for example, if you tell me you're ugly, I will believe it. Trust me, I will believe it, even though like I'm not. Like that young BB will believe it. So for me, it's just kind of like start to build myself again, I guess, and nurturing all those good traits and skills that I already have, because we all have good skills. Like we are good enough as like human being, because that's like who like God created us for a reason, like and like with the skills and things to do. So I feel like shit, I my
No, no, no.
sidetrack.
You're good. But let me just ask you a question. So what was like how did you pass the test? Usually, like, oh, like it's impossible to pass the test, but you said, oh, I'm an athlete, so obviously you were disciplined enough to study the material and prove them wrong. So talk about that journey, about how you got
Oh,
into the dentistry.
wow, okay. That this is another story where I saw like resilience and like going and not giving up on yourself or like your dream is about, because I didn't pass the dental boards until the third like time. So and for all of them I feel like it's the same thing. It was not that exam was hard. Okay. It was a little bit hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was
I mean,
500
it's a
questions.
doctorate. I would
Yeah,
imagine it's hard.
is 500 questions, which
Yeah,
it's a lot from all the things like biology, like things that they're not even dentistry, like even like medicine. Like you had to learn all of that. So the first time I was peeing my pants, literally. Like I was so nervous. And again, this the things when we have limited beliefs, we not only have one limited belief for one thing, we carry that for the
yeah,
all the stuff that we do. So I feel like I carried that a lot, like especially when I moved here, even though my higher self told me, yes, you're gonna pass it and you're gonna like prove them wrong. Like when I start preparing myself, I knew that I'm gonna do it, but something inside of me, especially my mind, was the one who was telling me it's too hard, or like your English is not good enough, like you're not gonna understand the questions, because yeah, everything is in English. And like when I first moved, I was like, I can do this by myself, but I still have a lot of limitations like on me, like at least on my mind, that kind of like push me a little bit back, but I still never give up. Like the first one was the most horrible one. I will. I'm actually. I can add it in here. You guys can see the score. It was horrible. It was like only like 53%. I was shaking. I was crying, but I still say I'm gonna pass it. I did the second one. I only needed one question to pass. So
damn.
that was because it's a long process, because at the same time I think like I haven't talked about this, I was au pairing. So the way I moved to United States is as a nanny. So I used to work as a nanny full time, and at night around like 7 until 12 midnight or 1 a.m. I used to study for the dental board. So it's like a little bit more. So for me, the second time I was like, because I spent pretty much 2 years preparing, like
Damn.
that, like at night, day and night, Saturdays and Sundays. Like literally, I didn't have life, but like it didn't matter for me, like because I really wanted to pass the dental boards.
Yeah.
How
And
old were you?
21, 22.
Yeah.
I sorry, 21 is when I did the first one, and 23,
23.
23 was when I passed it.
Okay. So let me ask you this: how did it felt the moment you knew you passed? You got the exams back ahead. You passed.
Oh,
How was that feeling?
for me it
Yeah.
was amazing. For me, okay, so let me put you into the process of like not passing it and actually passing it the second time, because I feel like the second time is when I said I'm done. Every whatever I feel or I think in my mind is not true. I'm gonna pass it. So the thing is, like sometimes I like to call our minds or like the thoughts that we have like are the devil, because most of those thoughts that we have like 4,000 thoughts during the day, and all those thoughts repeat themselves over and over and over, especially if you're not conscious. uh, when I didn't pass the second time, I told myself, am I actually that bad of a dentist? Like I cannot even pass a fucking test, or is just me just putting limitation and just working harder than that I need to work. And I think that's the realization that I got to. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
putting all this work, like I was working until 6 to 7 a.m. Sorry, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. in a regular job, and like using all this time to prepare for a dentist test. Am I this stupid? Kind of like that's what I said to myself, to not pass
Mm-hmm.
it. And so, and I had to go to a point and say like, I'm done. Like this is not true. I'm gonna pass it. Doesn't matter how long it's gonna take me. I'm gonna pass it. So I feel like that's what switched on my mind, and said like, yeah, like kind of like going from a victim, from the victim mentality. Oh, why is this happening if I'm super good? To like it doesn't matter. I'm gonna make it my reality, and I guess like that's what I did.
No,
Yeah.
it was it was that conviction. And like for example, like Malika, whenever she was homeless, she was like, "Hey, I have to make money on TikTok." For me, last November, I was like, "Yo, I have to make money if I want to keep my house." And for you, with the test, it's the same thing. It's that conviction and that confidence that hey, this is who I am now. I'm going to pass. I'm going to make money. I'm going to make this work.
Yeah, and I feel like the more you do it, and the more I love. I don't know. I don't remember who was the one who said this on your episodes. But the remembering the past wins and the things that
Yeah.
we did and that
Mm-hmm.
we actually accomplished was is really important. And I feel like ever since I moved to the States and I started like going back to the things that I achieved, I, I think it's been helping me so much to even continuing, like to move forward. Because if we can do one thing, we can do anything. At least this is like my slogan or like my saying. I can do anything I put my mind into. So is that like it's just actually believing in, especially for anyone that is listened to and is struggling with like self worth, or like struggling with knowing who you are. Like I feel like remembering these things that you did in the past, how all these good things that you did, it's a really good way to build yourself up again and to help yourself to move forward, because it's really easy for ourselves to go down and to be depressed all the time. But who wants to be depressed? Like I don't think no one wants to be depressed. And it's just
Right.
kind to find like that self. I don't know. It
No, because
was.
I do it all the time. Matter of fact, I do it every single day. I talk about, well, I remember my past wins every single day whenever I feel down. Oh, remember the last time I did 3 grand in one day. Hey, remember that one time where I asked that cute girl out. Hey, remember that time that I actually accomplished my dieting goals or my fitness goals. Always remembering my past wins. Why? Because I'm immuting that frequency of gratitude, of I'm embodying and remembering. So I'm attracting better things to me. So instead of all talking about your losses, it's only a loss if you accept it to be a loss. Everything is a win.
Hmm.
For example,
Feeling.
like
Yeah.
even LA, that girl that broke my heart, that's a win because hey, I'm gonna be honest, I was struggling to find a girl that's that was making 6 figures, that's also like into spirituality and like who's disciplined. And she was like the little spark. Hey, like there are girls like this out here. You just have to look for them. So even though
Not
it
even
didn't work
look for
out,
them. Just be open to
yeah,
the possibility of
yeah,
that happening. And I feel like, uh, not even just with dental stuff, but also with TikTok. Like at the beginning, I wasn't even open to the possibility of good things because in my own mind I was already saying no, or like I'm not good enough, or like I cannot do this because of certain things.
Right.
So like changing that, I feel like is the most worth it thing. Is the
no,
that you can do.
Yeah.
no, yeah,
For
for
sure.
sure. Changing the story. I mean, it's the same. It's the same thoughts. Just push those thoughts in the direction that you want to go to. Instead of saying,
Hmm.
"Oh, this TikTok thing is not going to work. It's never going to work." What if it does work? It is going to work. Have
Right.
those same thoughts like all throughout the whole day. Because like one of my go tos is I always have enough money. I always have more than enough. So those two phrases I replay throughout the whole day.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I was gonna like go back to like your story, B. Like, even like when you first came to the United States, and when you like were going through the motions of passing the dental board, do you feel like that was like the first time you were discovering who you actually were outside of what your parents and what other people were telling you?
Yes, because I couldn't even do it for myself when I was an athlete. Because
Mm-hmm.
first I was living in my parents' house, so I have to do literally what they told me to do. And so I feel like me leaving my house and kind of at the beginning not talking too much with my family is what helped me to kind of say like, okay, I can do this by myself because I have the power to do it. So I feel like changing
Mm-hmm.
and moving. And you guys, if you're listening to this, you don't need to move to another country to do this. But for me, I feel like because my parents were so strict, and I can only do what they want me to do. They don't even. I cannot say that they don't even care about what I want, because they do, but they just want to like put whatever they want me to do. Like I don't know how to say it
Mhm.
differently.
I mean, I think like with immigrant parents or not immigrant, like I mean, my parents are like, my mom's Asian, my dad's Algerian, but like I think for like them, like parents like that, like they only know what's best for you out of the lens that they know for themselves. So what they're telling you, they're just trying to protect you at the end of the day, but they're doing it in a way that's like not healthy and like not conducive to who you are as a person, and it actually like held you back instead of moving you forward. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
And I feel like especially for our parents, I mean, they were in another like time, right? Like they grew up really different to how we live right now. Right now, we care more about mental health, like growing our minds and our body in different way as how it used to be before. For them, it's just whatever can you can bring to the house. And for us girls, like it's just staying at home, being with the kids, like cooking, doing all of these things. And the time already changed, but that doesn't mean that if because like the time changed they have to change. They're, in my opinion, they are the hardest generation to change because they have certain ideas in their mind that they just think that that's that way. And sometimes the way they deal with with things is not the best, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's what I
Sure.
learned. But
No,
sorry.
Yeah.
it's just culture. But once you passed and you started working, when did you decide to do? Hey, let me go ahead and do my own thing with social media with TikTok.
That was after 4 years of doing like babysitting. So
Hmm.
I always wanted to move here to the United States. Like that's like my thing. I want to be outside of my country. Not because I hate my country. I think my country is dangerous. No, at all. I actually love Colombia. I love Medellin, which I'm from, and I'm so sad that I'm not there. But I just also love living in the U.S. And sorry, baby, what was your question again about the
Uh,
U.S.?
okay, so you passed the exam and you're working,
Oh,
right? So, but when did you decide to hop on the internet wave?
okay, so after I finished like au pairing, I wanted to start doing more dental stuff, right? I passed my boards, but the thing with like standardizing the degree is that you have to go back to school. I
Just a
cannot.
cute 500K in debt in the United States.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know that. And I thought that I could get a scholarship. The problem with
Mhm.
dentistry is because it's aesthetics, you don't get scholarships, especially if you're a
Oh,
foreign
serious.
student.
Wait, so dentistry is considered aesthetics and not like essential healthcare?
It's essential healthcare, but we're also like we're moving into aesthetics. Like most people, they do
Um,
like care, but most
um,
people is moving to like aesthetic dentistry, like this thing. So
okay,
it's
so
a little
that
bit
was like the
harder to get.
specialization.
Yes,
Sorry, it was like the specialization you wanted to do.
yeah.
Okay, okay. I
So for
feel like that should
that,
be considered essential too.
yeah. So after knowing that I can like I don't want us being with 500K in debt. Like
Damn.
that's not something that I want, and I that's what I needed to do if I wanted to standardize my degrees in America, which I said no. So
Mhm.
I started doing like social media because of my husband. My husband is a YouTuber. Before him, I didn't know knew anything about social media, nothing at all. So when I was tired, completely being an au pair, he's like, "Why just not start doing something on social media?" Like, I start doing art. Actually, the thing that is behind us, like this is a anime character, Goku, and I forgot what is the other one. I was doing that, so I did that for kind of like a year and a half, like doing art shorts on YouTube. Then I knew about TikTok Shop, so I said like, I always like sales. I did network marketing in the past. Why? Let's try it out. Like I know that I can do really good, and that's how I start kind of like getting into like social media. But I will say that the same traits that I had when I moved to United States and I was doing the dental boards, I had it when I started doing like social media. It's like yes, like I'm willing to put all my work, but it's kind of like my mind sometimes is like, no, you cannot do it, and I feel like it's just a default from like my parents that I
Mhm.
always work on. Like I think actually for anyone that is listening to this and you having the same like problem we're dealing with self-esteem, like low self-worth, I think like one of the best ways to release that energy, because it's just energy that is stuck on like yourself, is doing shell like trauma. That's one of the ways I could break through all these trauma. Yeah, sometimes I cry, especially sometimes when I talk a little bit more in depth of like the self harm that I did to myself and my parents did to me. That makes me a little bit emotional.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, like doing this shadow work, it kind of like freed me not only from like the fear and like all these low emotions, but also to find myself.
Yeah. And for like people who are dealing with those fears and maybe like self-esteem issues, like what are examples of like work that the inner child work that you did?
Well, I always so I do it also with a practitioner, so someone that knows how to do it. But there's also a book that is called. Give me 1 second.
You said you failed the exam twice, right?
I feel
Right.
what?
You failed the exam twice,
Yeah.
right? And so for quite some time, you had a struggle. You were struggling because you had that limiting belief that, hey, I don't think I'm smart enough to pass this. It's not from you. It's from your parents. Now everything works the same. So just apply the test with TikTok. So it's only a matter of time before you pass and you're like, oh shit, like I get it now.
Oh yeah, the
It's the
thing
same
is,
thing.
I don't give up. Like
Yeah.
I know what I want for myself and I know what I'm capable of. Like everyone in
Mhm.
here, like if even for you guys that are listening at home, like you know what you're worth. Like you know like what are you're capable of. It's just about removing like that mask that we sometimes put on ourselves to
Mhm.
actually see that you can accomplish anything and
Mhm.
kind of like working on that like trauma. And now that you like blah, 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 like responding Malika's question, this is the book that I kind of like start reading, The Completion Process. This is
Oh,
what.
by Teal Swan. Okay. Yeah, her work is. I mean, like, I never really did it, but I know people who like think like her work like changed their lives.
This is the work that I do with like my practitioner. Like she actually was the one who sent it to me, so I can do it at home, and I don't need to like pay her all the time, because
Mhm.
those appointments are a little bit expensive, but in my opinion, is the most worth it, because like it does free you a lot from a lot of things. So I think this is the first thing that I will like advice to anyone that feels or have the like the trauma, the child trauma, is to start
Mhm.
working like maybe with that, like that completion process is so beautiful, because we, I don't know if you guys know, but the kids start having consciousness at 8 years old. So before that, we're only sponges. Everything that we hear, we feel, we experience, we, our mind, especially our subconscious mind, takes it. And that's the reason why we are who we are, because like
Mhm.
we have those traits that we had before. So the only way you
Mhm.
can break that pattern is by changing your subconscious mind. And one of the ways I did it, I feel like, and I still do it every time, and is with like the completion process. And thank you to Malika, EFT tapping, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't like learn about EFT tapping. And I feel like
Mhm.
now I'm doing it more than meditation, because sometimes with meditation and trauma, I don't know how you guys feel like, but for my type of trauma, because mine's a lot of feelings, negative feelings, when I'm meditating, I get overdrawn by them. And so it's a
Yeah.
little bit hard for me to concentrate. So sometimes
Mhm.
I feel like I'm not doing anything, even if like meditating, even just by sitting itself is doing stuff. So right
Mhm.
now I'm doing more EFT tapping more than meditation, just because sometimes I feel overwhelmed, like or I feel like it doesn't help me. I don't know if that makes
Oh
sense.
yeah. Oh yeah, that makes sense. And I actually don't think meditation, like even like I think for people with like extreme trauma, I don't think like meditation is always the safest or most logical. I think it's great for like visualizing what you want and like a law of assumption manifestation, but like for trauma, like you said, like more things that are like really bring you back to your body, like EFT tapping. I'm sure the completion process also brings you back to your body too. In some ways, like those are a lot more effective ways, like somatic practices to move through trauma.
Yeah.
And
Or,
yeah.
and another thing that I did that I feel like it helped me a lot, it was NLP, neuro lingual
NLP.
programming,
Uh-huh.
which is
Mhm.
just the way that we talk is pretty much Neville Goddard. He talks a lot about that. He doesn't actually say NLP, but with the words that he's saying, like is using NLP on you, whether you realize it or not. So NLP, for
Mhm.
anyone that is just listening, is changing the programming on your subconscious mind. So as I said, like the only way you can change your programs, your patterns, your things is if you access to the subconscious mind, right? The easiest way to access to our subconscious mind is by the words that we are repeating to ourselves. So like Chino said it a lot, you too, Malika, is like just the way we talk to ourselves is the same way we are like energetically putting out there. So with NLP, I was able to recognize like a lot of like self-worth, for example, like, and change those programmings that I already had on my mind, and I change it to a different result, and I continue moving through it and finding the blocks or the limitation that keeps that thought like super ingrained on my head. I feel like that's
No,
two that helped me
no,
a lot.
yeah, no, self reprogramming. That's how I did it. Like, I just reprogrammed my mind because our brain is a radio receiver, right? So you're just tuning in into the old frequency. So it's just simple as turning the dial, and that takes focus. That takes focus and it takes discipline. But you have to be aware of those thoughts. Hey, I don't like this channel. Let me go ahead and switch it. It's just as simple as making the decision of, hey, I don't like this story no more. Let me get myself a new story.
And let me add one more
I,
thing of what you said, because it's not only about just repeating yourself that, it's also about when the feeling comes. First, don't get upset if the feeling comes, because I don't know how you guys feel sometimes, at least at the beginning when I wasn't too aware of these things and I wanted to change it like quickly. I used to get mad because of the thoughts that I was having and I wanted to change, and
mhm.
that doesn't help at all, because
Yeah,
you feel like you're spiraling, like I don't know
for sure.
how to say this, but like
Yeah.
you're like driving in mud, like,
And
like you don't move.
yeah, like you're kind of like stuck almost. And well, I was gonna say too, like I think the biggest misconception with manifestation, law of assumption, identity work is that like your your thoughts create your reality, but it's really the thoughts that you give power to. So if like I don't know, like I like have OCD, so sometimes like I have like intrusive thoughts, but I know like at this like level like of awareness that like it's not like actually how I feel, it's just an intrusive thought, so I don't give power to it. But the more you give power to emotion, whether or a thought, whether it's negative or positive, the more you drive that to create the reality that is in the 3D, because like
Give an
that
ex-
your huh.
give an example of like a thought
So
that you
like
have.
of a thought I have.
Yeah, well, intrusive thought.
um like I mean maybe like something like as simple, I'm sure we all have this, like you're not cut out for this. I mean, like once I have that thought, and I mean this is like something like other people can exercise too, like when you have a thought, like ignore it, and if you can't ignore it, see it, acknowledge it, and say like, okay, I don't want this thought has no power over me. You can claim that, because
Hmm.
I think the first law of the universe is actually consent. So when you give consent to a thought, you're giving your power away. And when you give your power away to a thought, that creates your reality. So instead, when you have a negative thought, you can have, when you say like, okay, I don't claim this anymore, maybe ask yourself what's something I'd rather believe. You can, and
Yeah,
then and then like tell yourself a positive affirmation. But even when you say, I don't give power to this thought anymore, that's it. In Arabic, we say, "Khalas," like there's nothing else. There's no more power. You
yeah.
neutralized it. So,
I, yeah, I say even ignoring, don't ignore it. This is what I do. I sit on it. I sit on it and say, hey, how do I feel right now? I think last time I got triggered, I was aware I got triggered, and I was like, hey, how am I feeling right now? I'm like, okay, I don't have to accept this, and I just let it go. Don't ignore it, because if you ignore it, you're giving it power. But if you're aware of it, oh, there you are. There's that whole version of me. There's a little voice of me that always telling me that, hey, I'm not good enough. Hey, I'm not smart enough. You're giving it power.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, I think maybe what I said, ignore, it's not the best word, but like just acknowledging, like say, I don't
Hmm.
want this, has no power over me. Like, I think in that instant when you make that decision or have that thought process, you're neutralizing it. And if it keeps coming up, then that's when you maybe want to go and do like the deeper work, like the EFT tapping, the completion process, like somatic practices to really help release it from your body.
Yeah, I agree. Because if you just don't release it from your body, everything like it's going to continue coming, 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 and
Hmm.
Hmm.
that's when we
And
start like getting crazy and like getting
uh-huh.
frustrated.
And I think like the more you do the work, like the EFT tapping with like these intrusive thoughts that consistently come, the less power over time those thoughts have. You can have it and you're like, oh, well, that doesn't really mean anything to me anymore. It's just an old programming. This is who I am now. This is my identity now. And I
Yeah,
choose to operate from that instead of this old identity.
yeah. I feel like is is really easy to like just keep ourselves in the same position, because sometimes at the beginning when you're doing this work, the mind is going to tell you, oh no, this doesn't work, like this is your life, you're not gonna be able to change it. But it's all like everything, like your mind lies to you most of the time. I forgot what book I read this, but this spiritual person, I don't remember what was the book, but it was saying that the true feeling that you should believe is like whatever comes from your heart. Your mind always want to lie to you or keep you like the in the things that you are stuck on, because that's kind of like the power we give it. But our feelings is actually more important. And like if we act from feeling, and if we act from like who we are, it will be more easy to get things done than if we go through like the mind and like believing this more than what we actually feel.
So this is what I discovered. So the mind doesn't like change. Why? Because there's an ego, there's an entity that lives within you. So that entity is always there. So you're replaying the same movie every single day. So whenever you decide to change the movie or change the radio station, your ego gets triggered. Like, yo, like what are you doing? I this is not me. This is not you. But you have to refuse, no, like this is who I am now. And this is
Yeah.
where meditations, affirmations, and feelings and emotions play a big part in your new movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like maybe to the audience that kind of feels like they're stuck in that like place where they're like they don't believe themselves, like just realize like Chino said, that's your ego. It really is like the part of yourself that's trying to survive, whether it's like you see it as like, oh, that's my 8-year-old self, or like my reptilian brain, you know, like our instinct to want to survive. So we, like you said, we don't necessarily crave change. But hold on, I was cooking, so I need to have my thought process back. Fuck.
But no. But
No.
so the ego is a double edged sword. So you have to be really now. Yeah, you're cooking. The okay. So the ego is really tricky, right? So it can either destroy you or you can use it for your advantage. For me, I like to go back to anime. For me, Vegeta, right? I think about ego. I think about Vegeta. Do you know? Do you guys watch anime? Goku?
No.
No. Oh, okay, so you guys won't get it. But anyways, so he wants to be like the
I
best.
dry it, but I don't want
Yeah.
to.
So he wants to be a Super Saiyan, right? Like he wants to be really like there's powerful God, but he doesn't think that he's not good enough. But is that ego? Like, hey, I know I deserve this, and that's what I realized too. Going to LA, a lot of these motherfuckers have egos. They know they deserve this. They know that like you, bro. They're not worried about money. They're spending money from left to right. There's no recession over there. There's abundance over there. So I was just sitting down and I was like, dude, like some of these girls, they're okay. They're good looking, but you can tell just the way they walk. Like, bro, like that's a 10. No,
Like
Yeah, no,
just
no,
the
it's true.
confidence,
It's
no,
energy,
true.
not
and
for real, bro. I'm
confidence
like,
they
damn, like
exude.
she knows she bad. Type shit. Like for real. Like, damn. So you need to use your ego not as a crutch, but almost like a like rocket launcher to like launch you off. But you have to be like aware of it. That's the thing. It's really
Yeah.
tricky.
And if you don't have that ego, like just find it somehow, because we all have that ego. We sometimes we listen more to our limitations than to what we actually want, like or want to do. And so I feel like
Yeah.
that's also really important because
And
yeah, continue, baby.
I was gonna say, and like maybe like when that comes back to the question, like to ask, like the audience can ask yourselves, like who is like this highest version of me? Like how do I operate from the version of me that is not scared, that has no fear, that is not worried about what others think? Ask yourself that, because once you know and you lay it out, at least you have the blueprint of like what you want to move towards. Because if you don't, you're just shooting at I don't know, you're just like shooting at like blindly. You don't know where you're going. So like once you lay out the foundation, you can start moving forward.
What would the confidence of me do right now? Will they'll walk into the room knowing that they own the room. They'll walk into the call knowing that hey, I'm gonna close this call. They'll walk into TikTok knowing that hey, I'm gonna fucking print. Think about Kanye West, right? Think about that ego. Now that's extreme, but no, it's the same thing. So
It's true.
I went to a museum, right? It was super cool. So they had a big ass picture of all these celebrities. Every single celebrity you can name, I'll put a picture up. uh, it was there. But like for me, I'm like, yo, all these guys, they followed their dreams. They were crazy enough to think that, hey, I know I'm going to succeed. And a perfect example is Bad Bunny, right? There was a video going around that I saw that he was performing in front of like 7 people. So Bad Bunny became Bad Bunny before everyone knew him. And he
Yeah.
carried that ego. And so that ego, or that version of himself, carried him all the way to now performing at NFL.
No, not performing
Mhm.
anymore
Oh,
because he's not performing.
oh no, but it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
but still,
Mhm.
like you have to be a little bit crazy and to do this kind of like to chase your dreams. As a matter of fact, this morning I saw a girl. She was like, "Oh, I'm giving up on TikTok. I'm not seeing results." Like, what the fuck? Well,
Are
you're
you
giving
talking
up?
about me?
No, no. It was literally that I pull up TikTok in the first video. She was like, "Oh, I'm giving up on TikTok. It's not for everyone. It's not working." I'm like, "What a quitter."
It's funny when I see people on TikTok, especially like TikTok Shop, complain about like not having the results because if they spent that energy to make a damn video, a TikTok Shop video, that could have been the video that like went viral. But instead, they used all that pent up energy and frustration and decided to put it towards something that's not conducive to their growth and
or
Right.
abundance.
or they do it, but as like Chino been talking about, like in other episodes, like you don't, like, you do it, but you're not doing it with the conviction, and that is what, like, it shows up energetically when someone else is watching the video. So yeah, maybe they say like, oh, this is not gonna work, but let's just try it because everyone else is doing it. Because that's another thought that a lot of people have, is like, oh, if they can do it, I can also do it. But like their internal like feelings is what make them is like, oh, I can do it, but I'm not gonna get the same results. But they still put it out there, but just not with the same
Yeah.
conviction.
So this is how I operate. I go, okay, so I learned this from neuro knowledge. So you think your desire is going to give you your state of being. But again, it works backwards. It's a mirror. The universe, it's a mirror. You need to be in the state for your desire to come to life. Right. So for me, I think from the end, hey, what would the multiple five-figure a month Chino do right now? More than likely, he'll be disciplined. He'll go to the gym. He'll work. He'll make new connections. He'll start his own business. That's what the five-figure Chino would do. Now, there's levels to this shit. There's a Chino who's making six figures a month, and so I like to do small steps. So right now, I don't want to say the number, but I'm slowly working my way up there, and it's that conviction in myself that hey, I know it's already done. I just have to align my thoughts, my frequency, into my actions to that version of myself. And it's
Hmm.
really just a decision. It's just a decision and being aware, like, hey, oh, for example, I'm going on a new. I want to. I'm sorry, beeps.
No, no, no.
Sidetrack. But I'm going on a trip, and I'm going to a new city, pretty big city. So what I do, I typed in most expensive restaurants to eat at. Why? Because this version of me has more than enough, right? And I'm also looking at like really expensive Airbnbs. It's not to like show off or anything, but to show like, yo, like this is who I am now. This is my new
It's your
story.
norm.
I go to nice places. I go to nice restaurants.
Yeah.
So like it's a daily thing. It's not a one time thing. You have to
Mhm.
vibrate at this frequency, at this consciousness, or this level of being all day.
Yeah,
And
and
I think
no, go ahead, babe.
like I was gonna say like what differentiates people who stay stuck and give up and don't go after their dreams after maybe their first failure versus even like connecting back to your story, BB, like you did it even though you were a little bit scared. Is that you just do it, like you make the decision and and there's like that little bit of inner trust that like regardless of what happens it's all going to work out. And I think that's like the most empowered place to come from because you don't have to like I really think even the people at the beginning of their journey you don't have to like believe 100%, like as long as you believe a little like everything's going to start aligning to you and then you can work and then when things start aligning you build that self-trust over time, you know what I mean? So like you just have to trust that things are going to work out and keep on going because they will. The difference between people who succeed and people who are fail are like the people who think who
Give
people
up.
perceive failure and they just give up and then they live a mediocre life.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things that being an athlete really teach me is not to give up. because even when I was an athlete, like I like if I ask my mom for a picture because I don't have any medals in here, I have won like maybe 180 medals from
Damn, girl.
gold,
Get it.
like silver and bronze, yeah, like all of them. But I feel like I wouldn't be able to get all those medals if I wouldn't tell myself, oh, I'm gonna be the world champion, or like I'm going to be the fastest girl like in here, because speed skating especially comes from like they have two different like type of competitions. One is called speed, and the other one in Spanish is called fondo, which is mean like you do a lot of laps and you do like points or elimination or combinations of those things. I used to be one of the speeds, so I do short like distance but really fast. So I had to, for example, build that confidence in myself, saying I can do this in, I don't know, let's say 1 minute, or I can do it like better than someone else's, and always continue until I actually break it or I go even down. So it's about the conviction, like self-discipline. I feel like it's really important, not only for sports or not only for money, but I feel like for everything. Like consistency is extremely important for you just to develop yourself, even if it's just internal, like self-worth, something like that. You have to be really consistent, diligent, to know that what you want, like, or like the other side, and know that whatever struggle you're having in here, you can face it and like pass it.
Hey, Beeps, how many first places you won?
How many?
Yeah, how many first places you won? Give a rough number. Just give.
Maybe 50.
Okay, so 50, right? So in those 50 wins, how was your, I guess, state of being going into practice and then going into that race? What was your thoughts, your conviction going into that race?
Oh, for me it was like I can like it wasn't even a thought. It was something that I already like,
You knew.
yes, I knew that I
All
was
right.
so good.
So wait. So so now we're going back to our past wins. So just take that same energy, that same thought, and apply with TikTok. You just know. Just know. Because I have too much evidence for this not to work. Have that same state of being whenever you're creating content or whatever. If the audience is doing sales or going for that job interview, just know, hey, I'm gonna get this job. Hey, I know I'm gonna close this girl. Hey, I know I'm gonna close this guy.
It's
Isn't
true.
it crazy how much sports is like a mirror to like what real life success is? Because
Bro,
like when
bro,
you
just get in shape. Get in shape, bro. Getting a six pack is like the ultimate cheat code, bro. That's the most self disciplined shit you can do is actually work on yourself. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Making money is kind of easy because I mean you can make 1,000 in one day, right? You can make 1,000 in one day. A six pack,
you
it
can
takes
make
time.
100,000.
A hundred
I'm
thousand in
sorry.
one day. That's really possible on TikTok
It
shop.
is. Well, maybe not TikTok shop, but as a brand, I don't know about as an affiliate.
Well, you guys,
However,
Anna, remember Anna, the nurse? She made $110,000 from the Dr. Melassin.
That's crazy.
right, that was like in a month. Right.
Oh, really? I thought that was in a week.
No, I think it's a month.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's insane.
I
She's
know.
like an amazing creator.
What were we saying?
Yeah, I guess. Well, no, like we were talking about how like sports is a mirror to like real life
Oh yeah,
success. Like, when you
yeah.
know you're going to win in a sport, or like for me, like surfing, when I know I'm not gonna fucking fall off the surfboard, I make it to the end. Or like when you know you're not gonna like when you know you're gonna win, you end up winning. And like if you take, like you said, that conviction into your real life, bro, you're gonna win in everything. You know, maybe it'll take time. Maybe you do fail sometimes, but like we've been talking about, like failure doesn't exist unless you actually give up.
No,
Yeah,
no.
and
And you realize that confidence is the ultimate cheat code. That's it. It's just even if you have to fake it, like yo, like it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. It's gonna work out, and then it works out.
And I also want to add something, because sometimes like we have that conviction, but that doesn't mean that if we know they're really good, those bad thoughts are not gonna come. But when those thoughts of like, oh, I'm not good enough, or like, because that's like my main thing. Like I always been told that I wasn't good enough, so like that's like what I've worked the most, uh, just to show to myself that, kind of like to shove every people's mouth kind of thing. It's
Yeah, like
kind
shut them out of your mind, right?
yeah.
But okay, so what would you tell the audience? Let's just say they're struggling, right? They're struggling to have some type of success. Let's just say in sports. What would you tell them? They keep on losing. They keep on losing the same match over and over again, or they keep on failing the same test over and over again. What advice would you give them?
Don't give up. Don't give up, because you're the only one who knows what you want for yourself. Like no one else, or not even a score, can predict your self-worth. You're the one who put the self-worth for yourself. So for anyone that it feels like I want to give up, or like as an athlete you want to become someone better, you already know that you're gonna become that, or you already are that person. Just work every single day knowing that you're building that and that's how I like to see it. Like just bringing the conviction every time that you bring it down or you lose it, because that's gonna happen. Like it's not that you're gonna be the entire time, oh, I'm a winner, I'm a winner. It's normal for our mind to also have the opposite thought. But when the opposite thought comes, I feel like that's where we need to just bring our, how to call it, like,
Awareness?
yeah, well, not only awareness, it's just
Present?
being really firm and saying, yeah, that could be true, but that's not my story.
Like you don't claim what other people tell you.
Yeah, or even just what I say to myself too, like what my mind wants to say. So especially for that, because when the bad thought comes, it's really easy for us to see it and start feeling those bad thoughts, because they're really easy for us. Like it's more easy for our mind and our brain to feel negative thoughts, to be in that area, because especially if you come from trauma, if you come from a place where everything was negative in your life, that's your norm. Like that's what you, like what you see every day, what you believe, what you live. So
Society, even like the programming outside of media, politics, we're primed to think everything is kind of shitty, you know,
That's
instead of like
what.
looking for the
Yeah,
good.
you're subscribing to that energy, good or bad is your choice that you're subscribing to.
yeah,
Yeah.
and when that bad energy just comes, just remind yourself of different things, your wins, like who you are. I recently, the main thing that I'm doing is just reclaiming my power every single day, just reminding myself how good I am, first as a person, and second as in everything that I do, work and things like that, because that brings me more peace to myself, so I can create better things. Because when I'm thinking on all these old stuff, or like feeling the thoughts or like the emotions of my past, I get depressed, or like I get like not wanting to do things, because I already know that the end result is not gonna work out, type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you spiral if you like maybe go back too much.
Yes.
No, I mean that makes sense. And well, I guess like I mean kind of like to I feel like we went through like a lot. Like there was like a lot of sauce and then maybe like we're coming to the end. Like what do you think is like something you want to tell the audience that may have gone through similar experiences as you is dealing with low self-worth, low self-esteem?
Well, if you are feeling down, the one of the first things that I will say is try to reclaim your own power, and try to find your like core beliefs, and not only beliefs on how life would be, but also what you want for yourself, because it's really easy to like get sidetracked. So if you, for example, feel down right now and wants to just have like a little step forward, just reclaim your power and remember every single day who you can become or who you are, so you can like come like move forward. I guess like that's like my main. And if
Uh-huh.
you do self-harm to yourself, trust me, I did it a lot in the past, is love yourself. Learn how to love yourself in the process that you're going through, and know that you are going to end on the other side really happy and with the things that you want and the things that you believe on.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, sorry, my cat's.
Your cat's like, period, yes. Um, and I was gonna say too, like, for like I guess like would you say like the practical steps in doing that is doing the inner child work, like going back and seeing, like you said, what those core beliefs are, so that you can actually and creating that new identity, so you can move forward into like the life that you actually want.
Yeah, well, for practices, this will be like more depend up to you. Like I can give you like difference. We already talk about the main ones that like I do. But I feel like one of the most important ones is the completion process of the child trauma release. Because if you release that trauma, like for no not for anyone else, but just for yourself, just to feel good and just feel like aligned and in peace. Because I feel like that's what I went through the most. I just wanted to find peace in myself and find like the empowerment again to like live my life. I guess like before I couldn't see that for myself. So like just like doing the trauma, the child trauma, it helped me a lot just to find peace with myself and love myself again. Because I feel like before I
Mhm.
used to hate myself. And like I know that,
Mhm.
that this could sound a little bit hardish, but uh, yeah, I didn't feel love, and I didn't like have love for myself because of the
Mhm.
thoughts and the story that I was repeating myself constantly.
And I think that's something like so many people can relate to, like more than we probably can even imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
probably everyone.
Oh, one more, guys. Always believe in yourself and the dreams that you have. Never, ever, ever give up on yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else gonna do. I think like that's like my main like giveaway for you guys, because yeah, like we can learn from like our past mistakes, but you always need to know what you want and know that you can achieve it if you don't give up.
You know,
for sure.
giving up on your dreams is like giving up on yourself, on your future self, just
Mhm.
because you don't want to get uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Everything worth doing is uncomfortable.
Yep.
1000%.
Yep.
You gotta choose, like, to be successful, you have to choose the uncomfortable every single day. But eventually, I think you start to crave almost the uncomfortable, like in a healthy way. Like you crave the hard, because you know, like, well, you can have the hard of like not living the best life that you want and living a mediocre life, or you can choose the hard of the one action, or like, you know, the shadow work that's going to make you a little uncomfortable, to move the needle actually forward towards your actual purpose, your actual the life of, like, you know, that you desire.
And trust me, it's gonna be really uncomfortable. Sometimes you don't even want to do it, uh,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really painful. But I feel like there's a beautiful lesson in pain, and that we like you can learn. And I mean, it doesn't need to be actual pain, but for people that already have trauma, there's nothing more beautiful that's like seeing that pain back to you and say like, this doesn't define me anymore.
1000%.
Have you
And
got
maybe, I'm
wait?
sorry, go ahead.
Have you guys heard about the holographic universe? Have you guys tapped into that?
I think I have. Can you just like explain it a little bit,
All
because
right.
it rings a bell, and I think I know what you're
So
talking about.
So you know how like last week in a group chat we were talking about, hey, what if life is just a video game? What if we're just AI? What if we're just Sims, right? Well, there's some truth to that. Some scientists have looked into it. So If the universe, I think I said this before, if the universe is infinite, that means there's a center point. You guys and me are the center point. But what part of the center? Your heart. So whatever you feel, you attract. Whatever you are, you attract. So every single person from today and tomorrow, every single one of those individuals is you pushed out. So the good, the bad, the ugly. The trick is to be aware. Hey, this version of me. There's no coincidence that I met old girl, and she was into the same thing I liked. Right? There's no coincidence in that. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find another girl who's the completely opposite. But I had to realize that hey, she's also a fractal of my imagination. So the best way to, I guess, change your reality is to operate from love, and it starts with self love. Hey, what do you enjoy doing? What brings me joy? Start small, dude. Like I said, I think even Jordan Peterson has a whole book about cleaning your room, and we talk about this every single episode. And I'm going to point the same thing every single time. Focus on your garden. Don't focus on anyone else. Focus on your garden. Plant the seed of belief of like, hey, I know this seed is going to give me my results. It could be money, finance, whatever it is. And you water it with your attention and focus. And only care about your garden. But once you have enough love, share that love to like other people.
I
100%.
agree.
It's gonna sound hippy dippy, but it's true. Like love is the damn answer. The hippies.
That's the answer, bro. Love always
Yeah.
wins. So, like, I'm not trying to sound like goofy or corny or anything, but like, people say, "Oh, use the rage or use the anger to get what you want." Well, just imagine what people do for love. Okay, for the audience, I want you to comment down below what beliefs are you ready to release, release.
Yes, let us know. And we hope that you found this episode fruitful. I think BB's story is so powerful and there's so much medicine in it. And thank you so much for sharing your story, Beebs.
Thank you,
Thank
B.
you guys for listening.
Yeah.
Well, see you guys next week.